Hello, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the weekly reading for the sign of Sagittarius. This is for July 21st to the 28th. Sagittarius, my brothers and sisters, my regulars know that I am a Sagittarius myself, and always warms my heart to do a reading for my brothers and sisters out there, my fellow Sagittarius. Cross watchers, you're welcome as usual. Newbies, people just arriving on the channel from surfing or by happenstance, you just came across this video for Sagittarius for the week. Thank you for stopping by and taking a moment to watch. Perhaps if something resonates, you'll decide to subscribe and hit that bell as well. Alright folks, my regulars know that the weekly reading, we look at your main stage event in terms of relationship. So whatever relationship is going to be in your focus this week, whether it's a family issue, an issue with friends, or an issue with lovers, whatever the main dynamic is taking center stage in your life, that's what we're going to look at. Alright, Sagittarius. So let's get right into it and get your cards out. First card out. Stay optimistic about your love life. Alright? You know that. Optimism is our forte, right? But sometimes it's hard to muster it. Let your friends help you. Alright, so this is a case of your social circle may be coming to your aid, helping you out in a particular matter. Playing perhaps Cupid. We're not opposed to people playing Cupid with us. At least I'm not. Right? So, you know, I welcome the aid of my friends when sometimes, you know, it's like the wheels need to be lubricated, right? They need to be helped along. So let's get the 7 cards out and see what this is all about for you this week, Sagittarius. What's going on for our lovely Sagittarius this week? July 21st to the 28th. Give me a clear reading for my Sagittarius collective. Those who have decided to stop by the channel, land on this video, we want a clear message. We want to know what those cards are about and what's the specific sides of the love life should we be staying optimistic about. Let's see. Alright, Sagittarius, we're going to get your main card out in just a second. Alright. This is 10 of Pentacles. This is your card for your relationship this week. So it's about abundance coming in, right? This relationship brings an abundance. It brings a sense of completion for you, right? It could involve love life. It could be a love life scenario, right? But it's very much a kind of like enjoying the bounty together. If this is a lover, then you guys are very much like a power couple, or could turn into a power couple. You have 4 of Wands. This is the card that almost flipped over earlier. I'm not sure if you saw in the shuffling. And I continued to shuffle, and sure enough, here it came. This is your card for you, Sagittarius. You have King of Cups for your person, and 8 of Wands for the relationship. So certainly this is about a love connection. Your person has the 3 of Pentacles for themselves. They see you and they get the world. And they have an Ace of Cups for the relationship. How beautiful. At the bottom of the deck, we have 6 of Swords. So somebody's deciding to take a journey away from... hold on a second. Let me just get my brightness sorted out here. Alright. A journey away from discord and moving more towards a harmonious relationship, right? Relationships where communication is harmonious, where you both choose to work towards the same kind of goal. It's a peaceful goal, right? So somebody in this relationship is choosing to work on harmony. This can also indicate traveling, movement, right? You could be changing locations and cities, right? So let's get right into it. We have 4 of Wands. So you're feeling right now like a real desire to stabilize a union, right? Stabilize a relationship that you're in. You feel like there's a connection there. You feel like perhaps this was a meant to be kind of relationship, right? everything isn't quite falling in place though, right? Because we do have stay optimistic about your love life. So that indicates that there was a reason to have to stay optimistic, right? So perhaps something was faltering, but you'd certainly have hopes of this, Sagittarius. Right now, you certainly feel very much like you are ready for this kind of relationship. You see yourself as a Four of Wands, so you see yourself as being able to, perhaps this is the time of your life where you're able to be the most stable in your relationship. You're ready to be committed, right? You're ready to kind of work on something that has the possibility of longevity and endurance, right? Certainly a committed relationship. This is a relationship of mutual respect, right? But 100% mutual respect. It's the mutual respect and love that these two people in this Four of Wands relationship have that causes the stability, right? And it's the stability of the relationship that allows it to endure and last a long time. And so this is why oftentimes we see this as a soulmate energy. Also the 11-11, the mirroring of the 11, but mainly it's really the stability. Your person has themselves as Three of Pentacles, so they see themselves right now as becoming a master at a craft, right? They're mastering their craft. They're putting a lot of work into something. Something that's their passion, right? Whatever their passion is, they're getting known for. They may already be known for it, but it could be that people seek them out for their talents. But in any case, right now, it's very much them working on that. They're very busy with developing their skills in a particular area, right? They're wanting to work with other individuals in this area. It's quite interesting, right? So, and it could also be that they're doing this in an effort to help prepare this Ten of Pentacles feeling, right? They could, if they're feeling the same way about you as you are about them in terms of the romance and wanting to make this relationship work, they could be very much on their grind right now, right? With work and working with others to bring in that extra money, to bring in the sustenance that you two may need, right? They may be going about building the nest in this way, right? They could be an artist, and so they're going out and doing more artwork and getting commissioned. They could be taking on more work at their job, right? They could be branching out into other things, right? But whatever it is, I feel like it is very much with this idea of supporting a relationship with you. They want to be able to bring their A game. They want to be able to bring a level of financial stability, right? And to work, and so working towards that, which would normally be the Four of Pentacles, but right now they're on their path working towards that financial stability. And I think very much with you in sight, right? With the desire to have this Four of Wands union with you. Now you see your person as a King of Cups. The King of Cups is a very determined man, right? He's a very he's a determined king. He goes after what he wants. He knows what he wants, and he's very single-minded about going after it. Specifically, we're talking specifically in relationships, right? And once he gets what he wants, he's fiercely possessive. Well, not possessive, I want to say protective. He's fiercely protective. Sometimes when the King of Cups energy can become distorted, right, or become can go to the other extreme, or there's a toxicity, then that protectiveness turns into possessiveness. So this person, the King of Cups is Scorpio energy, right? So your this is specifically one of the other cards for Scorpio besides the Death card. It's this card, the King of Cups, right? And I'm not saying Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, because we're talking about cups. I'm saying specifically the King of Cups is attributed to Scorpio energy specifically, right? And so they are very protective, but, you know, sort of discordant or negative Scorpio energy can present itself as being possessive, right? But I think your person is more that, you know, you see this person as being the one in charge in the relationship. They're certainly the more dominant one in the relationship, right? And that's fine with you, Sagittarius. You're happy with that. This isn't gender. This is not gender specific at all. When we talk about being masculine or feminine, we talk about an energy that anybody can carry. And so this person has the more masculine and dominant masculine energy. So it's not the submissive masculine, but it's a very dominant masculine energy in the relationship. And you kind of look up to them. You have a lot of affection for them, right? And you see them as such in this relationship, as your mate. You give them kind of this reverence as them being sort of the one in charge as well. And I think you enjoy that, Sagittarius. You know, sometimes Sagittarius always has to be in charge. You know, they feel like we have, you know, oftentimes we can be feeling very like put upon in terms of always having to be in charge, always having to be practical, always having to have the answers, you know. And so in relationships, it can be a real relief when you find someone that you can allow to be in charge, right? Let them be in charge. Let them make the decisions, right? Because that constant pressure of having to decide everything can be very wearing. And so this is a great dynamic. This can be a great dynamic for a certain Sagittarian out there who has that, right? Your person sees you as the world, so say they see this opportunity with you as coming along at almost like the perfect time in their life. They are very ready for it. They're very conscious about the karmic implications of this relationship. This could be a relationship where you guys have been friends for a really long time, and then suddenly now, just at the right time, when both of you were ready and both of you have kind of changed and evolved into more mature spiritually and emotionally people, now you've come together, and it's almost as if, wow, you know, we've had this friendship, but now we're coming together at just the perfect time. And so your person feels very much like that. They feel like this, you know, when they see you, they see the world, and they see that you fit into their lives at this point. You know, the World card can indicate that up until a period in your life where you've looked back. You know, we have these periods in our lives where sometimes we regret things, right? Sometimes we go over certain experiences and they cause us pain. We still cry about them. You know what I mean? And so those are periods in our lives where we're just kind of going through the wheel, I call it, right? But, you know, there are other times in your life where you realize that everything that you've gone through, and you wouldn't change anything about whatever you've ever gone through, because where you're at in life at that particular moment, you have this like really deep knowledge and feeling, a deep knowingness that you are exactly at the right time in the right place in your life with the right emotional, spiritual, and physical disposition. It's like a moment of perfect timing in your life. And when you have these moments, it's in those moments that you don't regret, and you fiercely hold on to everything that's happened to you in your life, because you begin to understand the sum parts. Right? That the sum of the parts are so much more than the parts added individually. You know what I'm saying? Than the individual parts. So, so this is to say that this person is having a real kind of moment. They're having a real kind of, a very poignant moment in their lives where they're feeling very positive about this relationship. And I think that they're starting to orient themselves toward a future here. Right? It's not actually sure if the commitment has been stabilized, you know, if it's been cemented in this relationship. Certainly would stay optimistic and let your friends help you. It could be that right now there are some extenuating circumstances that have kind of stopped you two from actually cementing the relationship and both saying, yes, this is a committed thing, we're together, right? This is what we're doing. But certainly it's on both of your minds. It's on your mind, it's on their mind. And they're starting to think in terms of orienting their life toward a life with you. You see the relationship, though, and I think this is where the hesitancy comes in, because there's a lot of conflicting information coming in, right? There's a lot of conflicting kind of data that's coming in, right? Messages that are coming in. It can be quite chaotic, right? 8 is the number for boundaries. It's also the number for restrictions, right? Being restrictive in a disciplined way. It's the number for discipline, understanding the nature of discipline, right? And in so doing, also understanding the nature of our true strengths and weaknesses, where we are strong and where we are weak, and where we require discipline to become stronger, right? I love the 8. And so in this case, we have a lot of chaos coming in, a lot of conflicting messages. And so it requires boundaries. It requires some discipline, some focus being put into this scenario, to this relationship. It can't just go, right? It needs to be focused. The energies need to be focused and discussed, because I think that neither of you two have actually had a conversation about this relationship. It's all been very kind of dancing around the issues or around how you two feel. And so these messages that are going back and forth between you are very chaotic, and you're not able to really see where you stand with this person, right, Sagittarius? And so in this way, this requires boundaries. This requires discipline, restriction. It requires that kind of, and when I say that, I mean that in a sense of having that conversation, right? Having the conversation, insisting that the conversation that you discuss the important points, right? That you discuss this issue, that you don't just dance around it, right? And so in this way, it's the discipline of dealing with the issue, communicating about the issue, right? And finding focus so that you can figure out, you know, which messages are true and which are just kind of a byproduct of miscommunication. Right. And so, yeah, your person, you know, I think you feel like your person is giving you mixed signals, and they aren't being completely honest about how they feel, even though, you know, in amongst all of this messaging, there is a very strong, passionate feeling, because this is Eight of Wands. So it's passion involved, right? Your person has Ace of Cups for how they see the relationship. So, of course, they're in love. You know, they're just waking. I think if they haven't realized it before, they're going to be realizing this week that they're in love with you. This relationship is a wellspring of love for them. It's a cup of love. It's a new love. It's just pouring over. I think when it actually hits them, it's going to be very kind of like overwhelming for this person. Again, I could see this being, you know, certainly with let friends help you and stay optimistic. This could very well be like one of those situations like you both are in the same social circle and you've been kind of dancing around each other. You've been flirting with each other. There's been a sort of relationship of sorts, but it hasn't quite happened. This could also be a situation where you actually have a close relationship. You are good friends, but suddenly it's evolved to this level of love and attraction, and you're both kind of like very excited and overwhelmed by this like rush of escalated feelings, right? You know, you have feelings already for each other. And so when and this is why people say the best relationships start off as friends, because it's like when you have that kind of friendship with somebody and that kind of like, there is a certain amount of bonding there already and affection for each other that is on such a deep level. And so whenever, you know, two people have that, and then somehow because of themselves, their evolution or in their environment, and, you know, a constant, you know, a whole sequence of events have caused them to suddenly see each other as more than friends, as a closer relationship, and the romance is there, the attraction is there as well. It can be really an intense experience because you're already building off of established affection for each other. So it only just increases, because sometimes it can be quite overwhelming. It can feel like, and these are the moments where those type of relationships tend to feel like they're destined, right? Those are the destiny moments, right? Like we were always meant to be sort of scenario. So I'm going to pull out your 3 cards and we're going to wrap it up. This week, it's basically all about having that conversation about the mixed emotions, mixed feelings, mixed messages that you're getting. I don't want to say mixed emotions because the emotions aren't so mixed. I think more it's a case of awareness. It's like you guys, both of you guys are kind of not really aware of how deep the feelings are. I think there may come a time this week or a scenario this week which highlights how strongly you both feel about each other, right? Something may happen where the conversation has to be had, right? You may be out together in your social circle and somebody says something and it's like, you know, it could be one of those scenarios where everybody sees you guys drawing closer to each other and somebody mentions it and both of you are like, huh? We didn't notice, or we certainly didn't notice that you noticed. And then it's like all the friends are saying, yeah, of course we noticed. We've been watching you two dance around each other for the last 6 months, you know, or whatever the case may be, right? So I feel it's very much a situation like that. And this is the week where those kind of, that it's going to come to a head, right? It's going to come to a head. A conversation is going to be had, or should be had, right? And yeah, stay optimistic. Stay optimistic. All right, let's get your 3 cards out, Sagittarius, and then we will call it a wrap for this week. This lovely week of love for you that I see coming up, certainly. All right. I hope this is the case, because, you know, look, I'm single. I'm looking, you know. Queen of Swords, honesty. So this is what I'm talking about with that communication, right? That conversation. Queen of Swords requires honesty. It's Libran energy. Knight of Cups. Oh, how beautiful. And King of Swords. Wow. All court cards. Right? Court cards, a predominance of court cards can also indicate the involvement of a lot of people in a scenario. So certainly let friends help you. This is just a reaffirmation that others are around you to help you with the scenario. And court cards are beautiful. You know, it's also like people that are meant to help. These are beautiful court cards. The Queen of Swords is there for fairness. So that's the conversation about fairness and understanding that needs to be had, right? The Knight of Cups comes in and he has empathy. We know what he's all about. He's a great romantic. So there's going to be a lot of romance this week. There's going to be a lot of honesty, a lot of clarity, right? A lot of sifting through these mixed messages or these confusing messages, perhaps. And then there's the King of Swords, and he's the one who kind of lays down the law and says, look, what are we going to do? Are we going to move forward with this, right, or not? Right? Are we going to do this? He kind of like, this energy is going to be kind of requiring you and your person to sit down and say yay or nay, or how do we move forward, because we can't just keep going like this, right? The energy is too much. The feelings are too much. I wanted to get that Knight of Cups in there. There you go. All right, so that's so beautiful, and that's for you, Sagittarius, this week, July 21st to the 28th. If this resonated with you, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment. Sound off in the community section. That's on the homepage. If you go to the homepage for my channel, go to the community tab. You can sound off there on the community wallboard anytime and ask questions. Give us your stories if this is what you're going through, right? But for right now, I am just going to say this is going to be a very interesting, somewhat quirky, romantic, and certainly clarifying week for you, Sagittarius. All right. I love you. See you next week. Bye-bye.